Hey everyone, it's Jamie from BestNerdLife and welcome to another episode. Now, as someone who is increasingly getting into retro gaming, I'm always looking for ways to integrate those old consoles into my modern gaming ecosystem, which is why I was really thrilled when Mayflash got in contact with me to see if I would like to review one of their products. Now, of course, that product is the N64, SNES and a GameCube converter. Now, this thing just basically plugs in the back of those consoles and it will output a HDMI signal, so you can just plug your HDMI into it. Now, when Mayflash did get in contact with me, they did specifically say N64 to HDMI adapter. However, because of how Nintendo made their stuff back then, this thing can easily plug into all three of those consoles I mentioned. So yeah, I'm going to be doing just that. Plugging it into each of those consoles and seeing how well it works with each of them. Let's go. Now, just before we plug it into a console, let's actually take a look at the packaging and what's inside it. Alright, on the top left there we have the Mayflash logo, which I think is a very nice logo. Below that we have the N64, SFC and SNES and a GameCube text. Flipping over to the back, we've got a nice illustration at the top, just there. We've got the specifications like power consumption, input and output mode and connections. Now, when we open the package, there isn't much in there. There's the adapter, as you can see there, as well as a little bit of paper, just talking you through some information, introduction, how to work it, etc, etc. Flipping over, we have some more information like the specifications again, as well as a note saying that this thing is a converter, not an upscaler. Very important to actually take note of that, it's not an upscaler. On to the actual package here, and yes, as you can see, it's very nicely wrapped up. And I've got to say, the first thought that I had with this is it's very small, very compact and very light, which is great. I like to see that. On the side there, it's got the Mayflash logo, which I think is great because I've seen other converters with just no logos on at all. You got the actual thing to plug in the back of your SNES or GameCube or whatever, as well as HDMI and a 3.5mm jack on the other side. So yeah, a nice little compact piece of equipment. Now that we've got this unpacked, let's actually put this thing together. Now, as you can see, it's very easy. Just slide the HDMI cable into the adapter and then the adapter into the console. You don't actually need the 3.5mm jack to use this thing. However, if you're having trouble with audio or something like that, or you want to use headphones, then that slot is available for you. Starting here, as you can see, with the SNES, and I'm going to be plopping in SimCity just to see if it works, and you'll see in a minute, yep, it pops up very nicely like that. SimCity 1989, the year I was born, looking really cool in that kind of widescreen. You can change it back to 4:3 if you want, using, the manual TV control. However, in this particular scenario, I'm not going to be doing that. Now, I've not really played a lot of SimCity on the SNES, so I don't really know the controls, but as you can see there, I'm moving around the city quite nicely. Yeah, this thing seems to be working pretty cool, right? Let's try something else with it. As the SNES games all seem to be working, I decided to do something a little bit different. I put in the Super Game Boy as well as Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. Now, I have such a nostalgic connection to this game because it was basically my first Mario game that I ever played. And I've got to say, I think it looks fantastic. And just the music and all that kind of stuff, it's just bringing back so many memories. So let's actually play the first level and see if it works. And yeah, as you can see right there, it works fine, the music's fine, the video's fine. Just, yeah, it's nice and responsive. I love it. Jumping forward in time here, let's actually have a look at the N64. As you can see, very easy to put in the back, although I was having some trouble with the power brick thing, so just ignore that. But yeah, I eventually got it in and set up. So first up, I decided to try Duke Nukem 64 because I love Duke Nukem, and to be honest, I've never actually played Duke Nukem on the Nintendo 64, so I was just kind of interested to see what it was like. And I'm going to be honest, I sucked completely so much at this game. But yeah, that's beside the point. Sadly, I hate to say it, but this is where this kind of adapter started to fall apart. I don't really know if it's very visible on the screen right now, but whatever game I tried on the N64, there was a slight kind of wavering jittiness to it. It's really noticeable on specific games, and also the bigger TV you go, the more prominent it is. So yeah, to be honest, this was actually really irritating to my eyes. I don't really know why it was doing that, but yeah, out of the box, without any tinkering, this is pretty bad. Specifically because they did mention N64 in their email, but other than that, I mean, it works, you can play it, but there is a slight jitteriness, slight waviness to the actual picture. Sadly, this isn't the end of the jankiness that I discovered whilst playing this. In some games, specifically in my collection, Pokemon Snap and Jet Force Gemini, the picture kept kind of like flickering to black and then back again, and yeah, even though technically it's playable, this isn't really good. I don't know why it was doing this, but as you can see, it's properly going really bad here. I do also want to mention that I did keep the kind of game cartridge connectors clean on each of the games that I played, and I also tried it with the composite connectors as well, just to make sure it wasn't my console. And yeah, I didn't have those issues with kind of going back to the original hardware, so I don't really know what the problem was, but it did seem to be that converter. Next, I tried the Nintendo GameCube, and to be honest, I was kind of worried I would have a similar problem. However, I'm very happy to report that I had no problems whatsoever. See there, it was very easy to plug in, and the games that I tried seemed to run perfectly. In this particular example, I put on Metroid Prime, which is a great game, a great series. Can't wait for the fourth one, which isn't out yet. Waiting so long for it. But yeah, this thing just seemed to run really, really great. There was no problem. And I think this is the kind of console I'm going to be using this adapter most for. I know you can play GameCube games on the Wii, but I like playing GameCube. I just think it's a fantastic little machine. Alright, on to my final verdict. Would I recommend this thing? Yes and no, or rather yes with an asterisk. Now if you want a cheap and easy way of interfacing your old consoles with modern TVs, then yeah, I would recommend this product. However, if you want to use your N64 with it, then I would probably recommend going somewhere else, or expect some jank when you're using it. As you saw from that previous footage, my N64 had a lot of trouble working with this thing. I don't know if that's because it's my console specifically, or how the N64 was made, or Atlas Video, or whatever. I'm not really technically minded to kind of find that out. But from kind of a basic user, novice standpoint, this thing was having trouble working, and that's not particularly great. However, the SNES and the GameCube worked fine. I had a lot of fun playing with those. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now, other than that caveat, I definitely recommend this product. It's something that I would have bought myself, even if it hadn't been sent over, and it is something I will be using far past what I've used it for this review. So yeah, overall I enjoyed this product and I do recommend it. With that being said, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, then by all means like, comment, subscribe, do all that social media goodness, and as always, keep living that best nerd life.